I am the great Shavini. Behold my wonder. Today, I brought a little cylinder with 3 colors of balls. I have a green, a yellow, and a red. Now, just like the picture on the front, I'm going to put in my green ball, my yellow ball, and my red ball. Alright, so I put green, yellow, red. But now watch. Green, yellow, red. Oh no, they all got mixed up. Let's try this again here. Alright, let's try it again. Alright, so green, right? We'll put the green in. We'll put the yellow in. We'll put the red in. Green, yellow, red. What do you think is the next color? Green? Ah, good, yes. Yellow, red. What? Okay, alright. That's enough. Okay, I'm going to take the red ball and I'm going to put it right there. Right in my trusty box. Okay? Now, in here, I just have the green, the yellow, and the... What? Let's see if the greater Shavini could do that, huh? Hey, where'd he go? Morning!
Good morning, boys and girls. Welcome back. We are glad that you are here today.
Yes, I am glad you're here today. I'm glad you're today with me and our church. There's Graham and Ross and I'm glad you're here today with me in our church. All right, it is episode 13, and you won't believe what Jesus does in today's lesson. I think we should sing, God can do anything.
That's a good one.
God can do anything, anything, anything. God can do anything but fail. He can save, He can keep, He can cleanse, and He will. God can do anything but fail. He's the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. He's the fairest of 10,000 to my soul. God can do anything, anything, anything. God can do anything but fail. I think Ross is trying to sing a little bit here too. All right, now we're going to say our verse for the week and then
Philippians 4:13. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ, which strengtheneth me.
I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthens me. Let's take a look at your wonderful photos. Let's see here. What was it? Elegant etchings last week.
Yeah, and we have some fabulous freehands this week.
All right, I'm excited about this week. Let's get going here.
All right, we had some new entries this week. We had Audrey, Cecily, and Charlie from right here in Wisconsin, not too far away.
Looks like some marker.
Yes,
work.
I love Cecily's rainbow. I like how Charlie did the different colors on the blind man's tunic.
Well,
there.
and I like this one's kind of like almost like smudged the colors to kind of blend them together. I like Audrey's
chalk a little bit, yes.
Yeah, it's very good job.
Nice. Abigail, Eliana, and Benjamin
from New York.
Yes. Again, we have a beautiful skyline.
Yes,
in
they are
Eliana's.
always
I love
good
that
with their
rainbow.
skylines.
Yes,
Yep.
I like Abigail's stars and moon.
Yeah, and what is this? Is this a snowman up here, do you think, for Benjamin? Or is it something with a name? I can't quite
I don't know.
make it
It's kind of cool. It kind of looks like a dive-bombing
Yeah.
snowman.
It's, yeah. Oh, all right. Quentin and Lola from
Minnesota. I love how realistic Quentin's looks. He did a very nice job with his sky. I like the outline of the picture.
I like how
dimension.
both of them definitely colored that mud that was going on right there. You can see two different shades of mud, but I would say this is probably a better quality mud, the darker the mud.
Could be. I like Lola's buildings too. Interesting color choices.
Oh, yeah, multi-texture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This must be Bobby and Marcy
from Michigan.
Yes, Bobby's
the telltale haircut.
Giving a haircut there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very good. It looks like he's rubbing cream on.
And the difference in between the landscape colors, kind of that yellowish green with some brown speckle in there, and then Marcy's is a very elegant green color shade there, kind of almost emeraldy.
Yeah,
very nice.
All right. And next we got Jaden and Adley from Janesville.
Janesville, yes, very nice colors. I think Jaden was maybe copying some of the colors of crayons of his older sister there. Adley had a lot of use of blue, and so
but Adley has the sun coming through the clouds as Jesus is healing, and
I like the texture in Jaden's hair.
Moving on to
Ellie and Abby from here in Janesville as well.
Yeah, Abby, look at how inside the lines she's coloring.
I was very impressed with that as well. Even on her buildings and like doing that red door there. And Ellie, very nice use of her crayons. I like all the green, my favorite color.
Yes, good job, girls.
And we have Philip, Josiah, and Curtis from Michigan. We have some marker. And some crayon or colored pencil in there, and interesting use of different mediums.
Have we ever had that before? I don't know. That might be the first, Curtis.
Yep.
Very good.
And Philip, he also added, this kind of happened at the nighttime, I think, for him, because he has the moon and
I like Josiah's little man back here.
Oh, that is so cool. I didn't even notice the little silhouette. Yes.
And I like Philip's shirt. It's like a, what do they call that? Not houndstooth, but... I can't think of it right now. We've got Fritz and Dad and
Kyle,
Odin and Ingrid and Ansel and Heidi
from Michigan.
Yes, very good job. I wonder what Dad did on Fritz's.
I don't know. Maybe the grass.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe the
sky.
Beard. Could be the beard. I like Odin's rainbow colored tunic there. And also Ansel had a rainbow colored tunic, which is kind of interesting. Two brothers there. And Ingrid, pretty shades of pink and purple.
Look at that beard.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very amazing.
I think that'll be the only one that we see today with blue beard. That's really, and purple hair too. All right.
Pretty far out.
And then Heidi, look at the directional coloring that she did.
It was very
all in the same direction. Very good job there, Heidi. All right. That's it for this week.
That was a beautiful batch.
Yes. Join us for next week's pictures. Send them in by Thursday, please.
Hello, I'm Chef Boy Srshevy. Welcome to my kitchen again.
Thanks for having us back again here, Chef Boy Srshevy. We've got an interesting thing we're going to do here. You know, the study of science is really the study of God. He made the stars. He created gravity. And anytime we study some part of science, we're really learning more about Him. Today, we have some milk here in this bowl. We have some soap in this bowl. And we have some food coloring. And Chef Boy Srshevy, I would ask, could you put a few drops of food coloring, maybe one of each color? Oh, you're going to start with the yellow? All right, do one drop. Ooh, let's do them spread out a little bit. Can we do one over here? Good. Got some blue in there. Let's get some red in there. Wow. All right. Now, we're going to take a Q-tip and we're going to dip it into our soap. All right, let's go ahead and dip it in there. Nope. Whoa. Can you dip it into the color? Hold it in there for a second. What's happening?
It's bubbling.
It's bubbling and swirling. What happens if you put it in another color? Ooh, yep, don't flip it out. Wow, see how it starts to spread away? You know what's happening here?
What?
The soap is making the fat particles in the milk start to separate out because that's what soap does. It breaks up fats and oils. That's just a simple chemistry fact. And you know what? God created the way these simple science experiments work. Can you think of some big things that God has done, maybe in the Bible and some stories that we have talked about in the past?
Well, he probably healed the blind.
He could heal blind people. So not only can God make the science experiment work, but he can make people's eyes see again. What about, can you think of anything about the children of Israel when they were trying to escape from Egypt? What did they have to run across?
And they went across the desert.
The desert, but they had to go across the Red Sea. Do you remember what God did to the Red Sea?
He just opened it.
He has power over nature, over the water. He opened it. Do you remember what happened with Jericho?
The towers came tumbling
God
down.
made the walls come tumbling down. Yes, God has power over all of creation because he is the creator. And guess what? He even has power over death. Jesus had some very good friends named Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. Mary, Martha, and Lazarus were brother and sisters. They lived in the town of Bethany. Jesus liked to go to Bethany and visit these friends. One time, when Jesus was far away preaching about God, his Father, Lazarus got sick. Mary and Martha were very worried about their brother, and they thought he might die. "Oh, let's send someone to go and get our friend Jesus," the sisters said. "Jesus can help Lazarus get better." So Mary and Martha sent a messenger to find Jesus. When the messenger found Jesus, he asked him to hurry to Lazarus' house because he was very, very sick. Jesus said, "Don't worry, this sickness isn't going to end in death." Jesus kept teaching the people for 2 more days before he traveled to Bethany. After the 2 days had passed, Jesus told the disciples, "We have to go to Bethany because Lazarus has fallen asleep. I have to go wake him up." When he saw the disciples didn't understand, Jesus explained, "Lazarus is dead." The disciples were very confused while they were traveling to the town of Bethany. What did all this mean? How did Jesus know that Lazarus was dead? How can you wake up a dead person? Finally, Jesus and the disciples arrived in Bethany. Lots of people had come to Mary and Martha's house, and many of them were crying. Jesus wasn't surprised because he knew that they were all crying about Lazarus. Lazarus had been dead for 4 days. Martha went out to meet Jesus. Martha was very sad. "Jesus, if you had gotten here earlier, then Lazarus wouldn't have died." Jesus said to her, "Oh, don't worry, Martha. Your brother will rise again." Martha didn't understand. She thought Jesus meant that Lazarus would be alive again when he got to heaven. She went to go get Mary. When Mary heard that Jesus was in town, she quickly went to meet him. She was so sad about Lazarus that she was crying very loudly when she said, "Jesus, if you had been here sooner, then Lazarus wouldn't have died." Jesus knew that everything would be all right, but he was very sorry to see Mary so sad. Jesus knows what it's like to feel sad. He cared so much for Mary that he cried too. Then Jesus asked someone to take him to the place where Lazarus was buried. When Lazarus had died, the family had to take care of his body. In those times, they would put a cloth over the dead person's head, and they would wrap up their hands and feet in strips of cloth, and after they had used all the cloth, then they would put on some sweet-smelling perfumes so that the body wouldn't smell so bad. Then they put the body in a cave or a tomb and put a big stone over the door. Lots of family members were often buried in the same cave or tomb. Lazarus was buried in a cave. There were lots of people gathered around outside of it. When Jesus arrived at the cave, he asked the people to please roll the stone away from the entrance. Martha gasped, "Oh, Jesus, how can we do that? Lazarus has been dead for 4 days and his body's going to stink." "Martha, you just wait and see. If you believe, then you will see the glory of God." The people rolled away the big stone, and after Jesus prayed, he called out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." What was Jesus doing? Didn't he know that Lazarus was dead? What do you think was happening? Everyone looked at the entrance of the tomb, and guess what they saw? Lazarus was coming out of the tomb, and he was alive. Everyone was so happy. Lazarus was alive. There was only one problem. Lazarus was alive, but he couldn't move. He was still all wrapped up in the burial cloths. Jesus told the crowd, "Go ahead, take those grave clothes off so he can move around." Oh, what a happy day this must have been in Bethany. At the beginning of the day, everyone had been sad, but now they were happy. God and Jesus know what it's like to be sad. When we are sad, we can pray to God and he will help us feel better. God has power over all of his creation, even over death.
Thank you, Scarlett, for that wonderful story. And did you guys know that Graham actually graduated from kindergarten here this last week? And so we have a ABC song.
All right, sounds good.
All right, do you guys know the ABCs?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Jesus died for you and me. H, I, J, K, L, M, N. Jesus died for sinful men. Amen. O, P, Q, R, S, T, U. I believe God's word is true. V and W, God has promised you. X, Y, Z, oh, home eternally.
All right, let's also sing Deep and Wide.
How deep is your
I almost
deep?
got that confused.
How wide is your wide? Oh, that was really wide.
Okay. Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. Deep and wide, there's a fountain flowing deep and wide. All right, so let's go to our questions of this episode.
How many days was Lazarus dead? 4.
My question has 2 parts. The first part of the question is that Lazarus had a couple of sisters. Can you tell me how many he had? He had 2 sisters, and can you remember what were their names? They both started with the same letter, Mary and Martha.
My question today is, how many episodes have we had Junior Church on TV? 13.
Well, Well, thanks again for joining us for this week's episode. We hope that you'll join us again next week and send in those pictures.